How do top UK universities actually use your LNAT score? It is not nearly as simple as you might think, and the honest answer varies enormously depending on where you apply. Here is the key point up front. Different universities use your score in very different ways. A select group of top UK universities require the LNAT for their undergraduate law programs. Check the official LNAT website for the current list. That group includes Oxford, Cambridge, UCL, LSE, and KCL, along with Durham, Bristol, Glasgow, and SOAS. But they absolutely do not all look at your results in the same way. If you are applying to any of them, you need to sit the LNAT within the relevant test cycle ahead of the UCAS deadline. The test is mandatory for each of them. Some universities share exactly how they use the LNAT. For example, the University of Bristol gives the test a full 40% weighting in your overall application. Bristol also considers both parts of the test. Within that weighting, 60% goes to the multiple choice section and 40% goes to your Section B essay. Other universities take a very different approach. UCL, for instance, sets a benchmark cutoff score for the year, which is based on the scores achieved in previous years. So what about the essay section? LSE only considers the multiple choice questions. The essay is not considered at all when they review your application. Similarly, for KCL, the LNAT essay is simply not used in the admissions process. They focus their attention entirely on your performance in the multiple choice section. The University of Glasgow will also normally use only the Section A multiple choice scores. There, the essay is read-only in some very specific and limited cases. Oxford and Cambridge, however, handle your essays quite differently. The essays you write for Cambridge University are gathered and marked centrally by their own dedicated team. Meanwhile, Oxford University uses a comparative marking system. It evaluates your performance on the essay section against the other applicants applying to the very same college. And even when a university does not spell out the exact details on its website, do not be tempted to relax. The LNAT still remains a crucial and mandatory part of your overall application. There are also strict rules about taking the test itself. You can sit for the LNAT only once in every single UCAS admission cycle. There are simply no exceptions to this. If you do sit twice, the scores from your most recent attempt will not be considered by any university. Only the scores from your very first attempt are ever counted. Your LNAT scores are also valid for that specific cycle only. They are not carried forward to the next cycle if you decide to step back and reapply later. There is one more thing that catches applicants out. Simply sitting for the LNAT does not mean you have applied to any of these universities. You must not forget the rest of the process. As well as taking the LNAT, you still need to formally apply for your chosen programs in the normal way, which is done through the UCAS portal by the relevant deadlines. You should also read the separate guidance on deadline dates for each university or check the official sources, including the LNAT website, UCAS, and the individual university pages for the most current information. The overriding lesson is this: because every point matters, and because most of these universities lean heavily on Section A, disciplined preparation is what separates strong applicants from the rest. Natural aptitude alone rarely reaches the high 20s that the most competitive of these universities quietly expect. The reliable path there is high volume, timed, digital practice. That is exactly what we built at LawMint.uk. Our full-length LNAT practice tests replicate the real exam, so you can see precisely where you stand and steadily close the gap. Try a free full-length LNAT practice test today at LawMint.uk. Then unlock the full series of 200 tests with 8,400 multiple choice questions. And subscribe to @LNAT Prep on YouTube for more guides like this one.